Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Take Along Adventures, Episode 2, Trouble. One day, Thomas and Coldy were at the station. Thomas had to leave an errand in Kerbal. "Bye, Coldy," said Thomas. "Bye, Thomas," said Coldy, but just then Coldy had to leave too. "Oh well," said Coldy, "I better go." Thomas left earlier. Coldy was just about to leave when suddenly, bang, boom, pfft, "What was that?" said Coldy. But suddenly, something in him snapped. Suddenly, he jolted onto the side of the standard gauge line. "Oh no," said Coldy. But suddenly, he jolted back on the rails. "Phew," said Coldy. But suddenly, crashed onto the ground and began to tumble over. He crashed. "Ow," said Coldy. "That hurts," said Coldy. "But," said his driver, that's the face in your bag. You should look at the front." "Okay," said Coldy. "That was an adventure." "Well, never mind," said his driver. "Now we should get some help." Unfortunately, Thomas was taking the time of his life. He soon arrived at Brendam Docks. There was Cranky as usual, along with Salty, also as usual, and there he was himself. "Okay," said Thomas. He didn't know what to say. "So this is the last part of journey, right?" "Yeah, and so it is for Percy." "Oh well, maybe I should talk with Percy." Thomas met Percy. "Okay, Percy, you know what we should do?" "Sure," said Percy. "Come on, let's go." And then they arrived at the yard. Arthur was shunting in the yard. "What's the problem?" asked Mavis. "She got a big trouble today along with Toby." "Oh well," they said. "It shouldn't be that bad when you get to Tinman's sheds." "Oh well," said Thomas. "Then here we go." And soon they were away. Back at the sheds, the engines were just discussing a few things. "Well, why did Sir Topham meet us here?" "Because of us," said a voice. And then 2 diesels approached. They're both from the mainland, or as the engines used to call, the other railway. There were not many diesels. There were 2 diesels. "Hello," said the white diesel. "I'm Chris." "And I'm Brewster," said the blue diesel. "Oh, what are these dirty old steamies doing here?" "Right, Chris?" Yeah," said Chris, "but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, they're soda engines. I heard the soda is probably one of the best railways in the world." "Bah! I want to go back to England. That's much better," said Thomas. "Oh, I'm feeling bad sitting right next to these 2 diesels." "Sorry if I hurted your mind," said Chris. I'll be gone for a while. I have to shunt some trucks." A diesel from the other railway was shunting a truck onto the cargo drop. It put it on the cargo drop and left while the cargo was unloaded. Then when the cargo was loaded, the white diesel came to take the freight car away. "Oh well," said the blue diesel. "Oh well," said Brewster. "Here I go. I'm off to take my passenger train, and that's it." And the blue diesel rolled over. "Oh, whatever," said Gordon. "He makes me cross." Said Duck. He was feeling ill that day. "Oh, how will I ever manage to stay?" he said as he went to rest inside his siding. But soon, a few minutes later, he was better. But just then, the blue diesel rolled in. I will do this. "Whatever, Duck. I think you need some help. Right, driver?" "Right," said the driver. They went behind the diesel, which suddenly, bang! Boom. The diesel flew off and suddenly almost fell onto his side. It tilted, and soon it tilted so much that it got on to run away, and Jeremy flew on upon it. Was flying down, was about to fly off, almost crashed into his father. Said Jeremy, "Now I can't take off." "Sorry," said Duck. But suddenly he found out this diesel isn't the only diesel in trouble, said Duck, and he looked down the line. Chris was having trouble of his own. He was taking a freight train. But unfortunately, suddenly, something in him cracked. And suddenly, the same happened to him. "Whoa," said Chris. He had to stop. He stopped all his motors and suddenly he overheated. "Oh, bother," said Chris. "This isn't like I wanted to." "Oh, well," said Duck. He quickly pulled Brewster back onto the rails. However, Duck found out that this was very important. If Brewster doesn't be taken to the works along with Chris, Henry, who is coming down the line right now, will crash into them. And Duck, you need to pull the express now." "Okay," said Duck, "and take Chris to his destination, the mine." "Okay," said Duck. He quickly pushed Chris as hard as he could. "Oh no, I'm not letting you down, Chris," said Duck. "Whatever is happening." "Well then, thank you," said Chris. "Thank you." Then finally Duck arrived at the destination, and Chris arrived at the mines. "Now, time to take it to the works, Brewster," said Duck. And after he took him to the works, Duck had to pull the train. "Okay," he said, "and look, we're just in time too. There comes Henry," and Henry passed by. Later that day, Duck had pulled the express and he was very exhausted. "Now, Duck, you can go to Tin Machets and have a rest. You deserve it." "Really? Me? In Tin Machets?" "Yeah, just like the old days." "Ooh," said Duck, "I guess you're right, just like the old days." "Oh well, that was surely," said Thomas to Percy and Gordon, whispering so that Duck wouldn't hear. "Duck, it surely meant something." "What?" asked the two engines. "Trouble," said Thomas. Duck, who had overheard this, along with the other engines, all laughed.